Hello everyone, and welcome to my second Outer Worlds build, the Charismatic Conman. Or, by his other name, Captain Alex Hawthorne. That's right, I decided to make a Captain Hawthorne build, something which I'll be able to explain in more detail during the backstory section. If you want to switch to any segment, then there will be timestamps in the description, so feel free to click on any of them to jump ahead to the specific parts you want to hear about. For now, let's start by taking a look at the attributes for this build. This character has average strength, high dexterity, average intelligence, good perception, very high charm, and average temperament. With no below average stats, you suffer no penalties. As for raise stats, the boosted dexterity will improve our reload speed by 20%, and the extra perception gives an extra 10% weak spot damage. The real boost comes from charm, which we have maxed out. This gives a 35% improvement to faction reputation and 40% companion ability refresh. What this means is that factions are easier to get on your side and harder to piss off, and your companions can use their special abilities far more often. The main skills for this build are handguns, lie, inspiration, and determination. Handguns are the weapon type we wield, so it makes sense for us to focus on getting this skill nice and high, ensuring we deal strong damage with those guns. Lie is our primary dialogue skill. This will make us able to scramble robots, turning them against their allies. More importantly, it lets us really effectively lie in conversations, something which plays a key role with this particular character. Inspiration and determination are the companion-based skills. These increase companion damage output and health respectively. Companions play a large role in this character, so you'll need them to be able to stay in the fight and dish out strong damage, things that both of these skills work towards. As additional skills, I had all of the stealth skills at 50. The sneak skill will allow us to land sneak attacks on enemies, dealing bonus damage, as well as grant the pickpocket ability, giving us yet another way to steal from the many colonists of Halcyon. Hack and lockpick are useful utility skills. There's always going to be a terminal you want to access or locked door you fancy walking through. Even without specialising too much, these skills still came in incredibly handy throughout the entire game. On to perks now, where we start with Cheetah, which increases sprint speed by 20%. I found myself often needing to rapidly leave fights when my companions proved to not be tough enough, making this perk incredibly helpful for outrunning gunfire. The Precision perk gives companions a 15% crit chance. As a build that relies fairly heavily on companions, you want to be taking perks that make them stronger. Pack Mule is the first of far too many carry capacity perks. This grants an extra 50 kg carry weight, raising you from a base 80 to 130 carry weight. Deadly Demonstrations gives you a bonus 50% experience whenever your companions get a kill. This is helpful for anyone who wants to level a touch faster and use companions. By letting your followers do the bulk of the fighting, you'll find yourself leveling far faster than normal. The Negotiator perk will reduce vendor prices by 20%, helping ensure you can afford whatever you want from the vendors you come across. On the flip side, Snake Oil Salesman will increase how many bits you make when selling by 20%, something I find invaluable in a game where improving equipment costs cash. We Band of Brothers is one of the critical perks to choose for this build. This gives a 25% chance to reset companion abilities on a critical hit. Combine this with Tag Team, our next perk, which gives the same effect but when using the other companion's ability, and you'll find yourself being able to really spam companion abilities over and over again, meaning you sometimes won't have to fire a single shot in a firefight. Stepping away from the important perks, we have Hoarder, reducing the weight of consumables by 50%, letting you carry far more to either use or sell in the future. I also had Pack of Pack Mules, which adds bonus carry weight from companions. In fact, carry weight appears to be something I can't help but increase, as my penultimate perk choice is Super Pack Mule, adding a bonus 100 kg carry weight, leaving me with 330 carry weight, more than enough to lug around everything I can possibly find on the planet. Fortunately, I gained my senses back for the final perk, choosing Don't Go Dying on Me. This perk revives down companions to 25% health when you use your inhaler, an utterly vital perk choice for a build focusing on companions doing the bulk of the fighting. As this is such a strong ability, it does have an excessively lengthy cooldown timer of 15 minutes, so don't think you can just keep throwing your followers in a fight infinitely without worry. Speaking of companions, the main one I focused on using with this build was Ellie. Not only a talented medic, but also a space pirate who's in it for the money and adventure, she makes the perfect companion for this particular character. I made sure to permanently have Ellie in the party, and then switch out other members depending on what the situation called for. Need a boost to hacking? Bring Max along. Having to assassinate some corporate fools but don't want it reflecting badly on you? Get Sam. Want to travel Monarch without getting chomped on by a Mantisaur? Then Yoka's your girl. Don't forget to equip your companions with the best gear that you can find. After all, they're the ones doing the bulk of the fighting. In terms of equipment you'll want for yourself, we start with Irion's Flintlock. This pistol fires 2 shots per trigger pull and deals bonus weak spot damage, making it easy to deal significant damage to a target quickly. The Conman also feels it just looks like a fitting weapon for a dashing space pirate such as he. For something that packs more of a punch, you can use the Exterminator. This heavy revolver has a strong knockback effect, helping ensure targets don't get their filthy hands on you. The high base damage also makes it pretty handy for sneak attack openings to a fight. These are the main 2 weapons I recommend using, but you still have 2 spare slots, which I'd recommend filling with any good handguns you come across as you play. For your armour, we start with Chimera, quite possibly the best armour the game has to offer. This item not only looks stylish, but provides incredibly high protection ratings and a bonus of 10 to dialogue skills, making it far easier to talk your way out of any problems that arise. Adding to the look is Hemlock's eye patch. This gives bonus sneak attack damage, but that's beside the point for this character. For the Conman, it's all about looking the part, and what is better for the space pirate look than an actual eye patch? As for where to acquire these items, I will be leaving links in the description to relevant videos or wiki entries to help you all find the equipment that you need. On to factions now, where we start with the simple premise of working for whoever will pay well. If working for 2 opposing companies means you get paid twice, then that's just smart business right there. As a main faction, I decided to side with, above all others, I chose Sublight Salvage. A company that manages to break all of the rules but never really get in trouble for it, they're easy for the Conman to both respect and admire. Feel free to accept any job they have for you, and, if you ever have to make a tough choice on whose side you should pick, try to go with the Salvagers. For the whole Phineas versus Board question, I'd say you should turn in Phineas, but only if you're getting paid well for it. For this reason, it's unlikely you'll be turning him in straight away, instead holding out, and using him as a valuable bartering chip for a future transaction with the board. This character should be played as a self-centered but charming individual, who wants nothing more than to get everything they want in life. They'll always take the path of least resistance, and are happy to tread some dark paths if it means they come out on top. I decided to play the Conman as a compulsive liar, meaning that whenever a lie option showed up in dialogue, I had to take it, no matter the consequences. I found this a much more compelling way of dealing with dialogue than simply going for whichever option I think yields the best result of the time, as it often put me in situations I then had to talk or fight my way out of. As for fighting, you really want to be chaining together those companion abilities as much as you can. With this build's perk loadout, you can sometimes have it where an entire fight is simply you going straight from one companion's ability to the other's. If you do need to get stuck into the fight, try and make sure you're not the target of too much attention, and just pick off enemies with precise shots from your handguns. Unsurprisingly, the Conman was in the profession his name implies. Back on Earth, he got by using whatever means he had to. As a naturally charismatic individual, he found it easy to have people do what he wanted, often not even having to instruct them to do so. Problem was that Earth tended to be a planet where laws were heavily in place and difficult to avoid punishment for. He was in the habit of taking others' identities to try and avoid the worst of his crimes. In fact, he had switched identities so many times now, he wasn't sure what his real name had been. This method could only work so many times though, and, after a string of arrests for some of the petty crimes he had been charged with, he realised he needed a new stomping ground. While scouting out possible places to go, he learned of the Hope, a colony ship headed to Halcyon. He could imagine it right now, a fresh start where he'd always come up smelling of roses, or whatever the space equivalent was. All it took was removing a single future occupant, forging their documents, and the Conman was suddenly being put into stasis, ready to emerge in a fresh new system where nobody could pin anything on him. Matters don't play out exactly as he's planned though, and, after a rather rude awakening, he's shot down to Edgewater, crushing a man by the name of Alex Hawthorne. Not wishing to waste an opportunity, he then decided to take the man's identity, along with his ship, and what little character had been briefly explained to him. In this new world, he would be the charismatic gunslinger. First things first though, he needed to get that ship up and running. Thank you all for watching this build through to the end. If you enjoyed it and want more, then please feel free to leave a like and share this video around with anyone else you know playing the Outer Worlds. I've already got a few more build ideas I'm working on, so make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to ensure you don't miss out on them. For now though, I just want to say thank you for watching. Sarge out.